are live on the Leading Life podcast. Today we're going to talk about New Year's, right, Brennan?
Booyah! Let's do it.
Woohoo!
Welcome to Leading Life, the show all about living to the fullest and leading life on your terms.
You will learn tips, tools, and strategies for achieving total personal transformation.
I'm Bren.
And I'm Cam.
This is Leading Life.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Leading Life podcast. What day of the week is it? It is a Tuesday? It's a Tuesday, I believe, right? I could be wrong. What day is it? Is it Monday? What day is it today?
Cameron, it's Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday, and you know what that means. That means we're here, we're live, we're going to talk about New Year's, which is coming up someday this week. It's going to be amazing. Brennan's Snapchatting me probably. But today we're going to talk about New Year's because most people fail. And you probably will fail if you make a resolution. Most people do. And we're going to talk about how to actually stick to it and quit being a failure. Right, Brennan?
Sorry, what's that, Cameron?
So we're going to talk about how to stick to a thing and not be a failure.
No, you're totally right, man. It's so funny. New Year's resolutions is such an interesting topic because it's tough for people, man. It's tough to beginning of the year, change your life, completely change something. But I'm pumped about this, man. The past couple New Year's I've had some pretty great resolutions. I've made some pretty great changes. So I'm pumped to chat about it.
So today I really just want to talk about motivation. I know that's cheesy as balls, but I mean motivation is really, really important because that is the only reason I was able to change my life in a heartbeat. It's the only reason Brennan's able to change his life in a heartbeat. It's the only reason anybody can change their life in an instant is motivation. Like a gun to your head motivation. I mean, intense motivation where it just has to happen. There's no other way around it. It's not I have to go through this year and it's going to be tough, but I'm going to do it. No, it's I'm doing this now. It doesn't even need to be New Year's. As an example, if you want to quit smoking, don't wait till New Year's, because you're not going to quit. If you really, really, really had motivation to quit smoking, you'd do it right away. You'd do it right now. Starting now, I'm done. But no, most people, they wait until New Year's. They wait till Monday. They wait till the first of the month, which psychologically is actually good for goals. That's why I'm setting New Year's resolutions. But you really have to have an intense motivation. I was getting into spirituality early in my journey, long time ago, 2 years ago, watching, some videos about it, started meditating, started reading books on the subject. And this one guy said, if you eat the flesh of an animal that didn't want to die, obviously animals don't want to die. Do you want to die? Exactly. So if you eat the flesh of an animal who wanted to live, who had a desire to live and was killed against their will, you take in that energy of fear, of pain, of torture, and it's kind of like bad karma. And the idea was to eat karma-free foods that are not causing any pain to anybody, any being, right? So I went vegan in a heartbeat. It took me 2 seconds. Most people, it's I'm easing into it. I'm changing my diet. I don't mean to be intense about it, but maybe it's just me. It's really easy for me to change, but some people have a serious problem with changing. Making an important change in their life, like quitting smoking. Dude, if I was a smoker and I found out it was killing me, I would quit in a second. In a second I'd be done. I'd stop smoking. It's just, I don't know, can we try to establish why people have difficulty making those changes? Because for you and me, Brennan, it's easy, just like that. I can give up anything. It doesn't even matter. So why is it that people on the opposite side cannot give up anything? They're completely in their comfort zone. They're completely stuck in their ways. They're completely closed-minded, and they completely do not want to change. They hate their lives. Most people don't enjoy their lives, but they're comfortable enough to stay there and not do anything. What is this about?
Man, straight up, it's two things that we all fall into, this trap. And the first one's fear. I mean, obviously. You're afraid of pain. You're afraid of what could go wrong. You're afraid of what could happen. You're afraid of what people might think of you. You're afraid of what you might think of yourself. You're afraid that if you try, you're just not going to make it happen. You're just going to fail. There's so much fear that goes into change, and for good reason, right? Fear is so important to our survival. If we weren't afraid of things, then we wouldn't live. I mean, think of Think like 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, 20,000, a million years ago, whatever, right? Imagine you don't have technology, you don't have houses, you don't have all these things, but you know, you're in the wild, you're in the forest, and you've got like a freaking saber-toothed tiger chasing you or something, right? Your whole nervous system, your entire body is going to go into fear, and you're going to try to avoid that, right? And that's why we have fear. I mean, so many people, they try to eliminate fear. Let me get rid of fear. Let me stop fear. When really, like, if you didn't have fear, you wouldn't be alive right now. Fear. Okay, what about crossing the street, right? You fear crossing the street because if you cross at the wrong moment, you'll get hit by a car and you'll die. Right? You fear that thing. But, you know, nowadays, our fears are much less intense than they once were, right? Like, we used to run from the saber-toothed tigers. But now it's like we're afraid of what people think about us. We're afraid about, you know, like, that's exactly it. That's like one of the biggest fears that I think most people are afraid of is they're afraid of judgment. They're afraid of what other people are going to think of them. So that's one thing that'll stop you dead in your tracks towards trying to create change in your life. Fear. Like, if you were afraid, it doesn't matter. Like, your whole entire nervous system will stop you, right? It's a subconscious thing. And the second thing, and you said it, Cam, this is what stops people. They're so comfortable. They hate their lives. They're not satisfied. They're not fulfilled. They're not happy. They're not excited. They're not enthusiastic, but they're comfortable, right? And what does comfort really mean? Comfort means that you're in a state where you're not experiencing a lot of pain, and you're probably not experiencing a ton of pleasure either. You're experiencing just enough pleasure and just enough pain where you're in like this Goldilocks zone of like, okay, this is cool, I'm all right. And what that might look like for you is maybe you have a job. It's a 9-to-5 job. It pays you minimum wage. You don't get paid a lot, but you're comfortable. You know, you have enough to pay your bills. You have enough to buy some food. Maybe you have enough to take care of your family. Okay, well, that's the next thing. Maybe you have a family. You've got kids, or you've got parents, or you've got cousins or aunts and uncles, or somebody who, you know, you feel comfortable with. You know, maybe it's not the most amazing relationship in the world, but you're just comfortable, right? And that's the death to success, is comfort and familiarity. I tell myself this every day as part of my incantations and affirmations. The more comfortable I am, the less successful I can be. It's really that simple. All these successful people, all the people who actually go after a goal and they actually reach it, they tell you it sucked. Like, it was uncomfortable. I had to step out of my comfort zone. I was afraid. I was fearful. It hurt. I was in pain, but I still did it, and I got the reward in the end. It's like the famous Muhammad Ali quote, and I'm paraphrasing. He said something like, "Go to the gym now, experience pain now, and live the rest of your life as a champion." Right? Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. It's just about making sacrifices, essentially. As what so many people are not willing to do, is make any sort of sacrifice towards achieving a goal. And dude, that's it right there. Those are the two biggest things that will stop you dead in your tracks from achieving a goal, from success, whatever it is. So look, fear. Fear will stop you, okay? Fear. And 2 is familiarity or comfort, right? Comfort and familiarity are the death to success. You know what I'm talking about, Kim? You know what I'm getting at here?
Couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. And I think what people need to, I don't know, this is just my personality type or the way I am, but I really love the fact that I'm going to die. Like, I love the fact that I'm not going to be here. And it's the only reason I make the most out of my day. Like, you will die. Like, everybody watching this is gonna die. Like, you're gonna not exist. Like, you're not gonna be able to look at things. You're not gonna smile. You're not gonna give anybody a hug. No, you're never gonna hear your name ever again. You're gonna die. You're gonna be gone. It's like, just think about that and feel it at the core of your being. Like, wow, I'm gonna be dead. I'm gonna be in the ground, or I'm gonna be in ashes, or whatever you're doing with your body. I'm gonna be donated to science. I don't know, but you're gonna be dead. And it's so liberating, because who cares what people think? I'm going to be dead. You know what I mean? Who cares if everyone's disappointed me? As long as I'm doing what I love, as long as I'm making the changes I want to make, as long as I'm becoming my best, because I'm going to die. You know what I mean? Like, become the best you could be while you're here. Do the most you can do while you're here. Give the most you can do while you are here, because you will be 6 feet in the ground and eaten by worms and stuff. Like, you're going to be gone. And for some reason, that gets me so excited about life. It's the reason I jump out of bed in the morning. Why would you sleep in if you're going to die? Like, if you were going to die that day, I guarantee you wouldn't sleep in. But death seems like such a far thing, far off, like, oh, I'm not going to die for another 50 years, so I don't need to worry about it. But in reality, you could die today, you could die next week, you could die in a car accident. Like, people are dying every second for different reasons. 6 people a day die from alcohol. Every 24 seconds, somebody gets a heart attack. Every hour, over almost 400 people starve to death. Every hour. People are dying all the time, and you could be one of them. So get your shit together. I mean, like, that's what motivates me. It might not be motivating for you. It might actually make you sad. It might actually make you immobilized. You might be scared to even do anything because you think you're going to die. But for some reason, that motivates me. And to the 5% of the people watching this who get motivated by that, just don't focus on death too much. But it is such a motivating force for me. And I bet it is a motivating force for you if somebody literally had a gun to your head. Or if somebody said, you're going to die today, what are you going to do? What are you going to tell people how you feel? Are you going to take that leap of faith? Because, like, you're going to die anyways. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what really, really gets me to become my greatest version. And that might be what gets you to stick to your New Year's resolution. The fact that you're going to die. Let's make 2017 the best possible day, the best possible year I could possibly make it, because I might not live in 2018, or I might not live in February 2017. Who knows? Nobody knows. And it's actually, there's like this bias or something that people have, and there's been a study or something, like most people don't think they're gonna die until they're 70. Yet, like, the statistics have shown people die early on. People die unexpectedly all the time, right? So another thing is, like, people they always expect good outcomes. You know what I mean? Which, I'm not trying to be a pessimist here by saying this. I'm just saying this might be an insane motivating force for you. And another thing that motivated me is actually a show, How I Met Your Mother. You guys probably watched that. It's a great show. And one of the characters, Barney, was going up to Ted. They're at the bar or whatever. Ted is like, he's doing his homework, right? Barney comes up, he's like, dude, what are you doing, like, writing a paper, man? This is boring. He's like, 10 years from now, are you going to remember are you going to remember this? Are you going to remember writing in your paper and, skipping a night of memories? Or do you want to actually create a memory that you could look back on? And that's what I think about all the time, is like, right now, 5 years from now, are you going to remember what you're doing right now? 5 years from now. Every single day, you should do your best to create a memory too. And that'll get you more excited about life. That'll make you look back and be like, wow, like, this year has been full. Like, 2016 was crazy. Like, we started the year with early plotting for Implicit. We launched Implicit. I went to 2 French music festivals. I made 3 short films. I made so much this year. And I could look back, and I actually keep a journal too, which is another thing that will help you. And I'll talk about this later. It'll help you stick to your New Year's resolution as an actual journal to stick to it. But those are 2 things that help me a lot, is focusing on death, the fact that you're going to die, the fact that it doesn't matter what people think about you. It doesn't matter if you get rejected, denied, if you fail, as long as you're trying your best, because at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you're going to look back and say, wow, I wish I actually did that, because now it doesn't matter. Like, now that I'm on my deathbed, I really don't care what people think, because I'm going to be dead and I won't really be embarrassed when I'm dead. So, I mean, like, so just keep that in mind. Maybe don't keep that in mind, but for me, people like with my personality type, keep that in mind. And also, make sure that every second you're trying your best to create a memory. Create something. Because most people aren't creating, they're just kind of like burning their life away. Like, it's hard to explain. They're just sitting there watching TV, letting somebody else think for them. Like, I guarantee you, something like I don't know how many shows you've watched, movies you watch, but you don't remember all of them. What you do remember, though, is times of intense emotion. A roller coaster of emotion, like going to Disneyland for the first time, falling in love, getting married, having kids, or traveling the world, or playing this gig, being able to speak at this event, writing this book. I don't know. But memories come from creation, so create something in 2017. What do you think, bro?
Man, that's all great advice, man. That's so true. That people, they forget about how much life they really have. Like, there really isn't that much life. And I'd say one of the most important things that I've taken into 2016 that has helped me make a great year for 2016. And like you said, Cam, like so many amazing things happened this year. I started my business. I quit my job. I went full time, all in on me doing what I want to do for my life, making every day just enjoyable and fun. But I'd say that's exactly what you got to do is you got to live each day as if you're living your life. Like when they say live every day like it's your last, there's some truth to that. Well, you could do that, but it's kind of scary, isn't it? You're like, what would you actually do on your last day of life? Like, what would you do? Would you like go run naked in the streets yelling at the top of your lungs? Would you, tell some family members that you love them? Would you try to mend some relationships that maybe weren't working? Would you try to complete a certain project that you want to have, some sort of project? Maybe it's a book, a CD, a tape, a video, something that you want to live here, to live on past your life. And that's something I think about every day. It's like, if today were the last day of my life, would this make sense? Like, would I be okay with what I'm doing today? And I say that in the sense of, obviously, some days you have to work harder than others. Some days you have to make sacrifices. Some days you have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do because you want to get a certain result. So you can't like necessarily live every life as if it's, or every day as if it's your last, because then it gets a little ridiculous, right? Like, I'll tell you right now, if this were the last day of my life, I'd go out and do some crazy shit. Like I would burn down the house, man. I would just like party. I would like tell everybody I love them. I'd Facebook Live my entire day so that like it's there. This crazy stuff, right? But think about that though. You don't necessarily have to be crazy and live every day like it's your last day, but at least think, is this pointing me in the right direction? Is this taking me to a place where I want to go someday? That's huge, man. Huge. And actually, I want to reference something that Bear said here in the comments. He says, don't make a New Year's resolution. He says, rather make a promise. And this is something Bear's just talked about a couple times in different episodes we've had with him. But it makes so much sense. And it's such an amazing distinction to make, because it's like resolutions for us. Think about it. The word resolution, a New Year's resolution. We all make New Year's resolutions, but rarely do we ever fulfill those New Year's resolutions. Am I right? Like, oh yeah, I'm going to work out every day of 2016. It just didn't work, right? Sometimes it just doesn't work because a resolution, that word, doesn't have as much emotion. It doesn't have as much meaning. It doesn't have as much strength behind it as the word promise. He says maybe you should make some New Year's promises. And because think about it, when you make a promise, that says something about who you are. That says something about the kind of integrity you have, right? And so to keep your promise is, for a lot of people, it's more important than to keep your resolution, right? Because a lot of people, the word promise means something to them. It means something deep. The word resolution, we use it maybe once a year, right? We use New Year's resolution sometime after Christmas, sometime in the month of January, and then by February, we completely forgot we had done anything. And so make a promise to yourself. And if you want to double X that, if you want to 10X that, make a promise to somebody you love, somebody close to you. Make a promise to your tribe. Make a promise to your family. Make a promise to your social media. That kind of stuff will definitely help commit you to making a change, because you're burning the boats behind you. You're burning the bridges. Like, you have no choice. You can't go back. If you go back, there's pain involved, right? You want to create systems where it's like you have to, it's like boxing yourself in, right? You box yourself in. You create a system where it's like, okay, if I fail, I'm going to receive all this pain. I'm going to be humiliated, embarrassed. I'm going to be ridiculed. I'm going to feel like I'm less than I really am. I'm going to be sad and angry and depressed. If I fail, there's so much to lose. But if I win, you set the stakes high where it's like, okay, if I win, then I get all this happiness, all this pleasure, all this pride, all this impact, all this influence. I get money. Maybe I get friends. Maybe I get family. Maybe I have a legacy, something I could leave behind me, right? That's the kind of stuff that will commit you, right? You create a huge consequence for if you don't do it, and then you create a huge reward for if you do it. I talk about this all the time because it's completely changed the way I wire my brain and the way I think about things. Is the pain pleasure principle. I learned this from Tony Robbins. I don't know who he learned it from, because I'm sure he didn't create it. It's like a pillar in psychology, the pain pleasure principle, right? You link pain to things you don't want, and you make it intense pain. You get really clear on that, and then you link pleasure to the things you do want, and you make that super pleasurable. You make that so compelling, like so much, just so pleasurable that you have to get it. You have to have it. And that's motivation, guys. Like, look, when it comes to creating a change, and I tell this to everybody in any kind of change, there's really 3 steps. Like, you could make a 10-step process, you can make 7-step, 20-step, none of that. That's all bullshit. There's really 3 steps. And the 3 steps are the what am I doing? The what, the why, and the how. That's it, guys. What, why, how. And if you want to frame this in a different way, I talked to this about, this is inspiration, motivation, then transformation. The what is your inspiration, right? That comes from the outside. You see something, you see somebody, you experience something, and it creates inspiration within you, right? You get inspired. You see that, you see somebody who's achieving amazing things and you want that. You see somebody who's deeply in love or in an amazing relationship and you want that. You see somebody who's wealthy, who's contributing, who's creating change in the world, and you want that. And that's really the what. You figure out what it is you want, what it is you see, what it is that inspires you, and you create that inspiration within. And number 2, right? So if inspiration is coming from the outside and it's lighting something up within us, motivation, which we talk about, and Cam said at the beginning, he's like, motivation might sound cheesy to some people, but dude, if you don't have motivation, you're screwed. Like, you're screwed. I don't care how cheesy you think motivation is. Everybody has it, right? Did you use the washroom today? Did you eat today? Did you sleep today? Okay, well, that's because you were motivated to do it, right? You were probably motivated by a physical urge, like, oh, my bladder, I really have to use the washroom, right? That's motivation, right? But we're talking about motivation that you create, not physical motivation that just happens, but it's motivation, emotional motivation, intellectual motivation. You create a feeling. Like, there's the what, the why. The why is your motivation, guys. You need to know why are you doing what you're doing. That is so important. And you need, seriously, give yourself a million reasons why. I say a million because every time you stack a new reason why, you get double the motivation. It's like a multiplier. And so if you have 100 reasons, 200 reasons, a million reasons why you're doing what you're doing, it doesn't matter how tough the times get. You know your why. It's ingrained within you. And finally, 3, dude, that's the easy part. It's the how. It's the transformation. Okay, inspiration, motivation, then transformation. Right? If you try to create a transformation in your life, you try to change something, you try to create a New Year's resolution or a New Year's promise, but you're not motivated, you're not inspired, you don't know what or why you're doing what you're doing, you're not gonna ever do it, right? And then we always want to skip to the how. We always want to skip to the transformation, skip to the change, skip any sort of process or effort to get there and just say, okay, how do I do this? How? What am I gonna do? How? And like Les Brown says, guys, and we say this all the time, the how is none of your damn business. The how is none of your business, okay? What is your business? The motivation and the inspiration. The what, the why, that is your business. The how will come after, but first you need to know what you're doing with absolute clarity, why you're doing it with absolute clarity and motivation, and then you can finally create the change. And you can't skip that step, guys. You want to create a change, you want a New Year's resolution, you want a new life, change something. But first, know what you're going to change, why you're going to change it, and it'll be easy for you.
Totally, man.
Right?
And that's what I had. I had like a crazy amount of motivation. Like, it was I didn't even I don't know, dude. I was just like, you have to be looking forward to something you really want. Like intense. Like, you want it to the point where you need it. Like, it's something that you want. Maybe it's you want to open up a restaurant. You want to become a painter. You want to be a lawyer. You want to be, I don't know what it is. It could be anything. You want to be a musician. You want to be an entrepreneur. You want to be a speaker. Whatever. But you need to want it so freaking bad. You need to want it to the point where you can't stop thinking about it. It keeps you up at night. You can't even shut your eyes without seeing images of you doing this thing. Without seeing images of, like, this dream life of yours. It'll make you jump out of bed in the morning. It'll make you do anything to get it. Like, it's to the point where you will make any change possible to get closer to this. And look, the changes, everybody knows what changes they need to make, but it's the what are you after, right? It's the why, exactly what Brennan said. Like, it's so important. And if you're not at that point, if you're not at the point where you can't shut your eyes without seeing it, or you can't stop thinking about it for at least an hour, to the point where it doesn't pop into your mind, like, to the point where you are not obsessed. If you're not obsessed, then you're doing something wrong. Like, switch it up, seriously. Like who's watching? Berge. If Berge is watching, he's a speaker, he's doing all this stuff, he's writing a book right now. If that book, if you're not obsessed with it, if you're not obsessed with your speaking career, go for something else, because there's something called passion that everybody must have in order to accomplish. They need, because dude, like, it's almost like passion is like the energy behind it. You know what I mean? Like, if I have passion in what I'm doing, I produce 1 billion times more results, because I'm just like, passion is my energy. It keeps me up at night. It gets me to jump out of bed in the morning. I'm not talking about, like, coffee doesn't keep me up. Coffee doesn't get me out of bed in the morning. Passion does. All right, my alarm clock doesn't wake me up. My passion does. All right, go. E.T., man, is a prime example, man. He talks about that all the time. So if you're not obsessed with what you're doing, then you're not doing the right thing. Because I feel like as much as we should be present, we have to be really, really pumped up by something that's going to happen in the future, or something you're after in the future. Otherwise, why do you get up? Why are you guys watching? Like, everybody who's watching right now didn't kill themselves because they have a reason to live. You guys have a reason to live. Now, what is that reason?
Yeah, man, that's a great point. And Grant Cardone recently came out with a book that's made waves. It's reaching so many people, and it's really got a great message. And it's called "Be Obsessed or Be Average." Be obsessed or be average. And think about it, guys. If you're not obsessed with what it is you're doing in life, if you don't have that drive, that love, that passion, that obsession for it, then you're gonna wind up being average. Because the people who achieve amazing things are the people who are absolutely obsessed with it. Like, obsession, like, seriously, obsessed with it. Think of it this way, okay? Beyonce. Everybody loves Beyonce. Okay, maybe not everybody, but she's very well known. She's very successful. She's got a very successful music career, dancing career. She's icon, right? Well, what makes her who she is? What makes her so successful? What makes her number one? There was a story, I think it was, I could be paraphrasing, but the story went something like she was practicing for an event, or practicing her dance routine, or her concert, whatever it was. And she basically went 3 days without sleeping or eating, and didn't even realize it. Like, she was just so obsessed, so into what she was doing. She didn't eat food. She didn't sleep. She didn't drink nothing for 3 days because she was so into it. And I could be paraphrasing. I don't know the exact story, but think of it that way. Like, do you have something in your life that creates that kind of obsession? I remember when I was a kid, I was obsessed with video games. Like, I would stay up 3 days and 3 nights to play this Guitar Hero or some shit, right? When I'd jam some Skyrim for 3 days. I don't know. But basically what I'm getting at, guys, is you'll never feel fully alive until you figure out what it is that makes you fully alive. Like, guys, it's not normal. It's not normal to just wake up and drag your ass out of bed, to go to a job that you hate, to hate it, to go into life and talk to people and just not even care, not even have passion, and get home and just like go through the flow and just like hate your life and be so bored and wonder, what is wrong with my life? What is wrong with me? How come I can't get up out of bed? How come I can't, live passionately? How come I can't find what it is that makes me happy? How come I can't love people around me? How come I can't love myself? Guys, it's not normal. It's messed up. It's seriously messed up. And I've been there. I've been there so many times, and I'm not perfect whatsoever. I struggle with this on a day-to-day basis, where I still sometimes I get depressed. I still get angry. I still get upset. I still lose my passion. I still forget why I'm here. I still forget why I get out of bed, But look, I've learned to snap myself out of it. I've learned to create systems and things that essentially snap me back into that place where it's okay. Like, why am I here? I'm here to freaking live an amazing life. I'm here to be happy. I'm here to be passionate. I'm here to smile. I'm here to love. I'm here to like dance. I'm here to sing. I'm here to play music. I'm here to make other people smile. I'm here to make life amazing for all of us around here. Because look, my belief system says there is no meaning to life. There is no ultimate truth. There's no meaning. Nobody's got it all figured out. There's no guide to life. There's no secret password or secret word or secret prayer, or secret meditation that's going to unlock the truth in life and is going to make you absolutely amazingly happy. It's just, no. It's all up to you. It's all up to how you want to live your life, how you want to be, what life means to you, what kind of meaning you create. And there's so much freedom in that, guys. I love it. That's all I got, man. Get all pumped up, Cam. Don't get me going.
Yeah, man. Like, I couldn't agree more with everything you're saying. And if you guys didn't catch the whole episode, watch it all, because this has been a jam-packed episode full of stuff. And I totally get what you mean too. Like, nothing really has meaning. It's only the meaning you give it. And I think, didn't you have lyrics in a song like that? Brennan had lyrics in a song, in one of his songs, that said that, which is so true, man. Like, everything is affected by, like, your beliefs and your conditioned behavior and all that stuff. Like, if I was to say the word cunt, it's a very vulgar word. Most people hate that word. It hurts their ears when they hear it. But, dude, cunt means nothing. It's an English word. Like, a Chinese dude who hears the word cunt, he's like, what? What did you just say? And they hit, like, it doesn't mean anything. It's strong language, swear words, like, it's literally beliefs.
I'm offended. I cannot believe
I'm sorry,
you said that on our podcast.
No, but seriously, like, that's a prime example of meaningless. It's meaningless. It's language. It's a label, right? If I was to call you stupid, like, it's almost like possessions. Like, somebody who owns something. Like, say, my dad owns this house. Two situations could happen. One, people agree with him. People are like, yeah, you own the house. And here's a contract. You signed it. It's with the law, whatever. Option number two, if nobody believes him, he's insane, goes to jail or something. I don't know. But, like, possessions in general are stupid because you have to have other people agree with it. You know what I mean? It's like, this is mine. It's like, who says it's yours? I don't agree. It's mine now. You know what I mean? Little things like that. So that's just a prime example of how meaningless everything is. Seriously. That's why I want to also have an episode on not caring what people think, not caring about swear words. If you get offended by a word, like, you're letting it happen. Like, you're the reason you're offended. Nobody can offend you. Nobody can make you feel like shit. You are the reason you feel like shit. You take that to heart, personally. A lot of people, like, dude, so many people are like, my mom literally physically felt sick when Trump was elected. And I'm like, Mom, like Trump didn't give you nausea. Like, that's not a thing. That can't happen. Like, what the heck? So, little things like that, man. Don't let anybody get into you. Get through your the wall. Brennan calls it the wall, man. There's like 3 layers. 1, would you trade places with them? If not, then they can't get through the wall. 2, are they friends or family? If not, then they can't get through the wall. 3, nobody gets through that wall. Like, nobody can affect the way you think. And that's how I feel, dude. Like, quitting my band for YouTube, are you kidding me? Everybody hated me for that. I was so, like, hated, like, universally. Everybody was like, dude, you're an idiot. What are you doing? You're doing these stupid online videos and you don't want to play gigs anymore. You don't want to go on tour anymore. You don't want to record anymore. You don't want to be a rock star anymore. What the heck? Like, my dad was disappointed. My parents, my family, my friends. But I didn't care. Because passion. And I guess we should make an episode about how to find your passion. Because a lot of people don't know.
Bro, we're going to have episodes all day. Every day, Monday to Friday, guys, we're doing podcasts. We've got all sorts of different topics coming up. I'm just excited about it, man. We're gonna have a couple different episodes that have to do with the new year, 2017, getting prepared for that. Today is really today was all about a mindset. It's the mindset that gets you to stick to your New Year's resolution. We'll have an episode within the next week or so about how to actually create a plan for 2017 so that you go into it with a plan. We'll have an episode about passion, all that stuff. And if you guys have any suggestions, definitely let us know. I got to get out of here. I got to go to the gym. I'm already late. But doesn't matter, man. We had an awesome episode today. I'm feeling really grateful and really pumped about it. I love you, Cameron. It's so awesome to have a friend, a brother who I can talk to about these things that I'm obsessed with. Like, I'm obsessed with these ideas. I'm obsessed with personal development. I'm obsessed with the small little tweaks or small little things that I could do to improve my life, to be happier, healthier, smarter, stronger, to inspire people more. That's what I'm obsessed with, and that's what my purpose and what my passion is in life. So I'm so happy that I get to do this. I'm so happy that we've got listeners on Facebook who actually want to hear. I mean, listeners on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, people who actually want to hear what we have to say, want to join in on the conversation. That's just beautiful to me, man. Amazing. But I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern.